Hello there. This is Sherry Simpson coming to you from British Columbia. I am a transformational life coach. I also do psychic card readings. And I pulled a handful of cards out for me today and just left them spread out. And I just asked my pendulum whether someone else needed to hear this or whether it was just for me. And I asked if it was just for me and got a no. So I'm assuming that these cards are for someone out there who's going to be watching this. So I'm going to go through the cards that I pulled with you with the intention that this is not only for my highest good, but it's for your highest good as well. And this will give you an idea of what card pulls look like if you haven't seen that many of them. So welcome to a card pull. The first set of 3 cards that I pulled was out of Mystic Moon Tarot's deck, which are I am affirmations. They look like this. They're just little cards that I pulled on the internet. And I was just looking for whatever was for my highest and greatest good today. So again, I'm hoping that whoever is watching this will actually gain something from it. So I got I am inspired. And I adore this one because part of my purpose is to inspire other people based on what I do, based on what I say, based on how I give, based on how I live. So I really feel like part of my purpose is inspiring others. And I don't do that necessarily with an I have to inspire other people. It's more so I set the intention that people will be inspired by the things that I do and what I say and how I come across and those things. So that is the very first card that came up. The next card that came up was I am aligned, but it came up in reverse. So that tells me that my own chakras are out of alignment and that I can do a chakra clearing and cleanse. And you can find those just on YouTube. There, you can find very quick ones and easy ones. You can do them yourselves just by like asking a pendulum, is my root balanced, and then your sacral. I'm going to flip this around so that I can do a little chakra story here with you at the same time. Red is your root chakra. That is all things safety, all things that you would need at birth. Are you clothed? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have enough food to eat? Are you getting enough nurturing to survive? Sacral chakra, you want to check if it's balanced. That's where your creativity lies. That's where your ability to birth things or children are. This is also where you keep your closest relationships. So if you're not having great relationships with your kids, your parents, your siblings, the relationships that are the closest to you, then you could have issues with your sacral chakra. Your next is your solar plexus chakra, and it's just below your rib cage. That is where your personal power and your confidence and your gut instincts come from. If it's not in alignment, then you're not trusting your gut. You're not, it connects in with your throat, so you might not be speaking your truth. That is a big one for a lot of us right now. We're learning how to step into our own empowerment and our own leadership. So we often are small here because the heart chakra, which is the green one at our heart center, is overgiving. And so we're overgiving to everyone else and undergiving to ourselves. And that can make us not speak our truths and not speak up for ourselves. Our 5th one at our throat has to do with hearing. It has to do with communication. It has to do with speaking our truth. If you have any thyroid conditions, or if you get sore throats and throat conditions often, then your thyroid may be out or your throat chakra may be out. The next one is your 3rd eye, where your intuition lies. And this is you tapping into your past life intuition, information about what is for your highest good. The next one is your connection to source, your crown chakra, the one that is keeping you in alignment with your source and aligning things up all along. The path through the chakras needs to go in both directions, so it has to go from above to below so we can manifest things into the physical world. It also needs to bring the responses from the physical world back up into source. And if we're not balanced in both directions, then we're either too far in our head and floating around like bubbles, or we might have a lot of headaches, and we might not be able to manifest. And if we are blocked at the bottom, And then again, we can't manifest. Maybe we're stubbing our toes. Maybe we're not actually connected to the human physical place where we are. And we literally need to be connected through all of them so that we can get our energy to pass through. Each of the 7 chakras is connected to a certain endocrine gland and a certain sorry, it's kind of late here for me to be doing this. It's almost 9 p.m. So my words are a little bit slithery. Not because I've had any alcohol or anything. That's something I don't partake in any longer because it messes with my psychic ability. So the energy flow needs to flow from top to bottom and bottom to top. And usually the body just feels better when you know that your chakras are aligned. So because this one came up upside down, I will check my own chakras, and I suggest that you do a little chakra cleanse yourself. The next one that came up is I am fun. And this is the sense that a lot of us are just being way too serious in our lives, and we're not actually allowing that inner child playfulness to come to the surface. So if you're feeling like you're all work and no play, then it's time to add a little bit of fun into your life. The next one that came up was an Archangel card from Doreen Virtue's deck, and it's called Gentleness. But again, I have a feeling that we're being very serious and that we're not actually being gentle with ourselves, which is why it came up in reverse. The card is from Archangel Sandalphon. Archangel Sandalphon is one of the 2 archangels that have actually been to Earth. The archangels actually reside closer to source. So they've actually, most of them except for 2, have never been to Earth before. And archangels have this really cool ability where when you call them, they can be with millions of people all at once. So it's not like you're hoarding an archangel. If you call them, someone else can call them as well. And they can be in 2 places at once. To call an archangel into your life, you simply say, Archangel so-and-so, so this would be Archangel Sandalphon, please come to me now. And this archangel can provide you with being very gentle with yourself, surrounding yourself with gentle people, gentle situations, and gentle environments. So if you're not feeling like you're being gentle with yourself, or if you're around people who are being like more angry or in situations that aren't great, then maybe we are needing more fun. And you can ask Archangel Sandalphon to bring you more gentleness, to bring you more patience, to bring you more fun, to bring you more peace, to bring you more love, or to guide you toward those things. The next one that came up is peace. So many of us are experiencing a lot of, there's some bad weather in some places. I know there's a little bit of stuff going on, in like politics, and there's other things going on. So we're not actually feeling peace on a world sense, and you may not be feeling peace in your own world either. So in order to call in more peace, Archangel Shamuel is the one you would call in. And peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So that's an interesting concept, because I'm doing this 8-day challenge right now. And in that challenge, we're actually learning that we decided what things in life to believe in and created our world based on our life up to the age of about 7. And so if we're not believing or remembering that love is real, then we're living in this illusion about everything being the way it was when we were 7, and we're pushing that elusive perspective straight through our adult life. So calling in Archangel Shamuel, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this correctly, so forgive me, Archangel, if I am not. But calling that in if you need more essence of love in your life and peace in your life. We are heading into a new moon on December 18th. It's going to be a very powerful new moon on December 18th. And it's about, new moons are always about new beginnings and culminating new things. And 2017, if you add up the 2017, it's actually a 10, which reduces to a 1 in numerology. And that is new beginnings as well. So 2017 was a year of a lot of new beginnings for people. And we're moving into an 11 year in 2018, which is a master number. So it's a double 1. So it's like double new beginnings. So next year, things are going to be manifesting very quickly, which is why Mercury is retrograde right now to help us clear out things. And we're helping ourselves to release the past and to move into more confidence and more loving and more peaceful and more gentle of a place. And we are allowing ourselves to be inspired and to inspire others and to get into our own alignment so that we can listen to our own guidance and to have more fun and not be so serious, so that we can experience these new beginnings in this time coming up. So this new moon coming up on December 18th is a fantastic time to set your intention for the next year. Usually we do that before January 1st. So the new moon on December 18th is a perfect time to do that. The next thing we have is relationship changes. This is a big one right now because, and it came in upside down, so it may be that we're at the end of relationship changes. And it's a 5-6, which adds up to 11. So isn't that funny? We just talked about the number 11, and 11s are ones being new beginnings, and next year being an 11 year, and manifestations happening very quickly. So what we're doing are releasing relationships or situations or experiences right now with Mercury Retrograde that we no longer need, that no longer serve us. And that could be the mean soccer coach sitting on your shoulder that's like interrogating you every day. Maybe you're actually supposed to change that relationship so that now you have a cheerleader on your shoulder. Maybe you are supposed to hire someone like myself who's a coach, or maybe you need to hire someone else on a more professional level, like a psychologist or someone who can actually help you to change your relationship with yourself. Intuitive guidance is one thing I teach, so that's one thing I feel like people really could benefit from, is actually connecting to who they are at a soul level and connecting that human self that lives on this planet with the higher self, and to align those things. So there's definitely change on the whole planet going on in that direction, where we feel like it's finally time to allow ourselves to line up our human self and our spiritual self. So I like that card as well. These three cards have come up many times in the last few readings that I've done, so I kind of got a chuckle when they came up. 8 is the abundance number. It's also my life path number, and I know that has to do with creating abundance in my own life and teaching others how to do the same. And not just abundance in money, but abundance in all things. And so this gentleman and this 8 card he's looking into the past, and the abundance is growing in his future. So literally he needs to bring some of the information he's learned from his past and release what's no longer serving him. Turn around and walk into the future. And the future contains a lot of love here and a lot of self-care, because that's the pink color. And that will bring him the success and the growth that we're all deserving and desiring right now. This I got to laugh at too, because this one has come up quite a few times. But moving on was the card. It is also an 8. So again, infinity on its side. Moving on, this makes me think Mercury retrograde again, because we're healing our past. We're learning how to communicate differently. We're releasing what we don't need as we move into this number 11 year of 2018 that's coming up. And we're in this phase where we're not quite ready to move on yet, and we're moving through things until about Christmas. So I'm not surprised that this actually came in reverse, because we're not quite ready to do the moving on. Once Mercury goes direct after about the 23rd of December and into January 1st, we're definitely going to feel that shift of we've certainly released the past, and now it's time to move on. We just hit today the middle point of Mercury retrograde, so I'm doing this on December 14th. And that means that we have been going through a lot of touchy-feely emotional stuff, and we're actually starting to act now through the second half of the Mercury retrograde to take action on releasing stuff. So that's partly, I believe, why this came in as a reverse card, because it's that transition point where we're actually starting to take the action to move forward, but we're not actually in a full speed ahead position with that yet. And this one has come up many times too, and it came up in reverse, so it came up upside down. Darkest Fears is the card. And it's basically that we get stuck in our head and our fears, we get stuck in our blocks, and we create resistance and we self-sabotage, thinking that our darkest fears are actually going to move forward. And we're using that as like self-sabotage and resistance not to. And this card coming in upside down makes me think that it's really time for us to release those darkest fears, because they're really an illusion. And that makes me think of this card where peace is actually, and love is what is the truth. And we really need to actually ditch that whole thing of the darkest fears. And this is a 9 card, and a 9 card is about endings. So it's really about ending our sense, our illusion that our darkest fears are running the show, and stepping into that new place of new beginnings, getting into alignment and connecting with our higher selves and having more fun, because I know that we're not doing that. We're working harder. We're spending more time away from family and friends. We're doing more things to create money. We're feeling more broke because we're spending more time doing things to create more money, and it feels hard. And so we just really need to step into a place of feeling better and having more fun and allowing more in. And once we get into a place of being in alignment, we feel more inspired to take actions that are fun and actions that are good and actions that are useful. And then we're inspiring other people to do the same. And then we're actually connecting in a place that's more gentle. So we're being more gentle and loving to ourselves, which is definitely what we want. So we're literally changing the relationship we have with ourselves, which once you grow your relationship with yourself, then you send that out as a message to the universe that that's how you desire to be treated. And then you attract relationships that are similar to that with other people in your life, no matter what relationship they are. So we're ready to change those. We're ready to be more heart-centered and to be more successful and allow more growth and expansion in all areas of our life. We're ready to move on. We're ready to take more inspired actions. So this was a fabulous reading. I'm really actually glad that I decided to share this with you instead of keeping it and hoarding it just for myself. So I'm hoping that this inspired you in some way, shape, or form. If you would like a personal reading, I'd be happy to do that for you. You can find those in my store at yltcoaching.com. This one was almost 20 minutes, so this would be like a $44 reading. I have $26 readings that are a little bit shorter, so they'd be less cards. You set the intention, and then we step into who you are and pull the cards. I've been getting very good at my psychic abilities and tuning in with people, and my medical intuition is also expanding, so I can also tune into people's bodies and connect in with what's going on, and whether the issues going on are like ancestral and generational, so they could be past lives, whether they're like about certain areas in your body where the information is stuck, which could be also be about aligning your chakras, and moving forward in a peaceful way, in a loving way, in a heart-centered way. So I'm hoping that was useful. Again, if you're interested in a reading, you can contact me at yltcoaching.com. I do have many things that I offer for free in my Facebook group at Create Freedom Your Way. It's a group on Facebook, and I also have a fan page on Facebook where I offer things as well, many videos and posts for free. That's at facebook.com/yltcoaching. So find some of the free stuff, find some of the paid stuff at yltcoaching.com if you're inspired there. Subscribe, share, like, comment on these videos. Let me know if there's anything that you're really guided to ask for information about that I could help you in a video like this. Once in a while on my fan page, I also do card readings for people. So if you're a fan on that page, then you might be able to catch a live where I can pull a reading for you live. So have a beautiful day wherever you are. Namaste.